All right, and we're recording here. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll be able to join us live on Zoom. My name is Charlie Eccles. I am the director for SiouxperCon. I am also going to be handling a good portion of our live panels here throughout the weekend. Thank you for logging in to SiouxperConline.com. Make sure to go back. Right now, we also have an interview with Shay Fontana coming up that has been recorded and is finally up right now. So you'll be able to go back and watch that at another time. But make sure to follow Shay and everything that she is doing. But I am being joined by the one and only Sioux Falls Batman, Terry. How are you doing, my friend?
We're doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You're without the cape and cowl today. We wanted to talk to the man himself, the Bruce Wayne behind the Batman today about Sioux Falls Batman here today. So how's everything going for you here, Terry?
Everything's been going great. We've been doing good, trying to do as much as we can in the community, even though with the COVID going on, we're still getting some good requests out there, traveling by, doing some drive-bys, some birthdays, different things, different events. So it's been going really good.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we've got a few people that are joining. If you have joined, this is a nice way where you can actually come in and put in all of your questions. But Terry, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about Sioux Falls Batman here. And I don't think that I've personally, you and I know each other. We got to watch WrestleMania together a couple of years ago. We got to watch Kofi with his big win here. So that was my big thing with you, but my big memory. But I don't think I've ever gotten a chance to actually sit down and talk to you about how this whole the Batman, Sioux Falls Batman kind of got started. So send us back a couple of years. Where did this kind of begin? Where did your love for Batman begin? Tell us all about that.
Sure. Yeah, growing up in the 80s, I'm gonna date myself a little bit there, but I was a big Adam West, Burt Ward fan with the the 60s and 70s Batman. Once I seen Batman and Robin, I was really hooked on that. Then you fast forward into the 80s, but the Michael Keaton films came out. That was just tremendous. That was awesome and everything like that. So I've always had a passion and love for Batman. All my toys were Batman and Robin, a lot of DC, things like that. But I had the posters kind of like I do now in my room, I kind of here on the Batcave wall or whatever, I've still got my Michael Keaton posters and things like that. And, I've had this flag behind me since I was a senior in high school. So this is really dated as well. It's pretty old and travel with me everywhere I go. But, like I said, I've always had the love for passion for Batman. How we got started, most people kind of generally know, but I'm retired military. Out of high school, I went straight to the military. Spent 22 years serving this great nation. And during that time, we got to do so many cool things. And one of those cool things that we got to do was visit children in the hospitals. We got to go up there and read to them around like the holidays, like Thanksgiving and Christmas and things like that. And like you stated, we're big WWE fans, AEW, things like that, all wrestling. Definitely going to throw it out to Map too with Eugene, huge fan of his. And But just watching them over the years with things that they do. John Cena with all the Make-A-Wish, grants that he's done with Make-A-Wish Foundation. Whenever they travel to a big city in a big state that has a nice, big children's hospital, they go in and visit the children. And I always thought that was really cool. And that's something that always kind of took away from them in our visits at active duty military was that I want to do that. I want to get in there and make a kid smile. And I want to make a family's day. But how do you do that, Charlie? You and I, we're not famous, nobody knows who I am and all that stuff. But so back around, I don't know, it's probably 4 or 5 years ago. And that was the time that it really started getting me hyped around, Captain Marvel or Captain America with the Marvel series coming out, Iron Man, back then it was Batman Begins and the Dark Knight Entertainment. So the comic books characters were really coming to life and everything else. So I used that love for Batman and that passion for Batman. So I just kind of sat down. We talked to my wife about it and said, hey, this is kind of what I'm looking to do. What do you think? And she thought it was a great idea. So we bought our first Batman suit, and it's kind of the same thing that you see now and everything else. And it wasn't really until we got to Sioux Falls. I actually bought it in 2015 in Aberdeen before we actually got to Sioux Falls in 2016. So when I got here in 2016, I was at the Bernardi Motor Company. I was working at the Honda store there on Louise Avenue. And the girls from Children's Miracle Network and Aaron and Bethany and them would come in, and the first radiothon was coming up in the castle. And so I thought, hey, this is kind of my opportunity to talk to somebody about that. And so they're like, yeah, if you want to come in the next day on Family Day, they always have, it's always a 2-day event, a Thursday and a Friday. And on Friday, they always have a family night. So they're like, hey, why don't you come in on the family night? Bring your suit. We'll take a look at things and everything and kind of see how things go from there. And when I showed up, it just really, all the radio stations were there taking photos, putting them on the social media outlets, and it really just kind of like caught fire. Like, wow, look, who's this Batman guy and all that stuff. And that's really how I kind of got my foot in the door with Sanford Castle. And 4 years later, we're just doing a lot of amazing and great things.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So it's been about 4 years that you've kind of started this off then.
Yep.
So in these last 4 years, has there been like one particular moment that you can tell us that was kind of the moment that I'm going to do this for the rest of my life? I'm going to be doing this for as long as I possibly can. Do you have anything that kind of stands out for you with that?
Well, we have several. We've met several great families, but I think it was once we met that first family. It was the DeVoy family, Sarah and Michael, out of Pipestone, Minnesota. We got to meet Braden, and that was really the overall moment. Traveling out there to Pipestone, and I mean, Pipestone's not a very big community. I would say a third of the city was there when I rolled up. I'm not used to that. And so that was really powerful. Coming in there and meeting Mom and Dad and seeing the impact and all the people. Thanking us for coming there and doing that. And it's like, no, thank you for inviting us and allowing us the opportunity to come visit your son and your family and be a part of this. And I still tell Sarah that every time I see her. I'm like, you're the reason why we are where we are today. Like, you started this whole thing. And, since then it's been a lot of highs, not a lot of lows, but it's been amazing. Every year it's something new. It's something, great with another, children's, organization, or, something different with the hospitals or whatever, we got going on. And it's just been, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing ride so far.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And we are here with Sioux Falls Batman. If you are watching live on Zoom, if you have a question, make sure to drop it in. I'll make sure to tell him. Today we are sans cape and cowl, but we got the hashtag Team Batman. Sir, we're getting to know the man behind the mask, Terry himself. Terry, the one thing that I want to ask you, and I think this is probably one of the most common questions that you probably get, is where did you get the Batmobile and how long did it take you to get it to where you like it?
Sure. So we'll go back again 4 years. I was with Vern Ide, and it just fate just had it to be to where so Vern Ide owns the Motoplex out there on Airport Road, and so they have all the vast array of different, motorsports, four-wheelers, motorcycles, slingshots, stuff like that. And there was a guy that was working for the company, Rusty Jones. He was like a custom motorcycle shop guy. I think he came from like Orange County Choppers or whatever and stuff like that. So when I started doing this Batman persona, Jim Lake, the owner of Vern Ide, he was like, hey, let's build you a custom motorcycle. And I was like, Jim, I don't ride motorcycles. Like I'm not a Harley. I don't have an Indian or a Honda or anything like that, And so luck we had about, I don't know, a month or two later, we were doing every year they do an amazing event for like first line responders. They host a party and bring them out, and they bring out fire trucks and ambulances and the police force and different things like that. Well, they brought a couple vehicles all down from the Motoplex, and lo and behold, one of those was the slingshot. And as soon as I saw that slingshot, that instant, I was like, there it is. That is the Batmobile right there. That is, like, it just caught me. It was like, that is it. That's what a Batmobile looks like. 2 wheels in the front, 1 wheel in the back. It's a different looking car. It's a unique looking car.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. And so so I took the idea to Jim Lake and said, I know we talked motorcycle. I said, but what about this slingshot? It was really kind of the second year of production for Polaris. They put them out in 2015, but they hadn't gained a lot of hype yet. So they really went full manufacture in 2016. And so they brought this one out, and he's like, well, drop a design, what you think you'd want it to look like, and let's piece it together. And so it took me, it didn't take that long. It really only took about 6 months to kind of what did really is now. We had it wrapped from front to back with black vinyl. It's actually fire engine red underneath as the original color.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. And actually, because of the seat colors, because it's red and black, that's why I thought back to my childhood with the Adam West Ward Batmobile. I thought, oh, that would be a perfect layout. So we printed out the decals of the old bat symbol and wrapped it as it is now. This year we actually did a couple modifications. I changed the grill guard color from black to red. I put some red trim on my side mirrors, and I actually replaced the back belt cover with the black piece. I took that off and actually put another red piece on there. So it's really highlighted and accented a lot more now with adding on that red flare. So we're slowly modifying it, more and more a little bit every year, but it's brought it really opened up our whole repertoire as Batman and who we are with having this Batmobile. I don't think we'd be as far as we are today, honestly, without that Batmobile.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I want to come back to that, but we have our first question here for you, Terry. Shane Madsen he says, hi, Sioux Falls Batman. Wondering if your wife has ever joined you as Batman or Batwoman or not.
Unfortunately, my wife does not dress up with us and go out with us. One year for Halloween, I did get her to play Catwoman, so that was pretty awesome.
That was more for you. That was more for you.
That was for me. And no, a lot of guys know, I have a team. I do have a guy that we just brought in as Robin. I have Captain America, and then I have a young lady who plays Captain Marvel for us. She can double as Wonder Woman, but most of the time she does go as Captain Marvel, and that's Autumn Danielson. My Captain America guy, obviously, is Paul Hendricks. Paul's been with me since pretty much the very beginning. Him and I have done a lot of this adventures together, and I'm so thankful for the guys that I have. So, but no, my wife, she just plays the part of Alfred, so to speak. She puts everything together, tells me where I need to be and when I need to put the cape and cowl on. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you've obviously got a very supportive family, and I don't mean to transition this on myself, but I've got a question from somebody that I know fairly well, who is my wife, who sent in one. Miss Lori Pocola wants to know, have you ever gotten together with other people throughout the country who also play the role of Batman?
I have not actually. I've been invited. I'm on a few Batman Facebook groups, guys who do the same thing that I do that are all over the country. The guy from, his name's John Robles. He's actually from Southern California. He does the Batman thing out there in between San Diego and like LA County and things like that. But I have not met any other Batmen, so to speak. Obviously, we do other stuff with the groups here in town. We've done amazing things with the South Dakota Superhero and Villains group, with the 501st group, the South Dakota Ghostbusters, and different things like that. So, I have the pleasure of working in some events throughout the year with these guys, amazing guys and gals, shouldn't just say guys. And no, I've like I said, I've talked to them on Facebook. We mess each other. We have a couple cool groups of different guys throughout the country, and every now and then we'll send a message. Hey, does anybody live in Pennsylvania, or who lives in Texas that can go and visit this young boy or young girl? So it's trying to work those connections, but for the most part, no, it's just been me here. There's really nobody in Minneapolis or any other surrounding like Iowa, Nebraska, any of our bordering states that I have met or seen yet.
All right. Well, awesome. And Terry, we did get a comment on Ashton, your wife. It said, being the bag holder is a true cosplayer / date friend / spouse experience. So making sure to be the person holding the bag. We couldn't do this without our spouses, could we? So,
no, well, absolutely. I would not be where I am today without her love and support, and with her, absolutely, allowing me to do the things I do to give up, time with her and with the kids. You're absolutely, she is the unsung hero. I wouldn't be where I am today without her, and I fully recognize that, and they're absolutely right. Yeah, being the bag holder, the makeup holder, the towel holder, right, on those hot days and things like that. So absolutely, yep.
That's awesome. And, that's kind of where I wanted to transition anyway here, because you are obviously not just Sioux Falls Batman. You're a family man. You've got your family and everything like that. Tell us a little bit about their role with you being Sioux Falls Batman.
Sure, absolutely. Like I said, Ashton, she's been so supportive since the beginning. And like I said, a lot of people do thank her. You know, it's kind of sometimes it's a thankless thing, but I'm not really in it for the thanks, but they understand the fact of not just with the 2 kids that I have here with Ashton. You know, obviously I do have 4 children altogether, so you kind of sacrifice some of them times. I try not to. I try not to make sure that or she does, I should say. Really, is more she's the schedule and handler. So we try to make sure that if I have a hockey game with my 14-year-old, that we don't schedule anything that weekend and try the best we can to schedule something outside of those times. So we try to balance the family and Batman life the best we can. But you're absolutely right. I mean, the unsung hero with her, I wouldn't be without it. My 2 girls absolutely love what I do. They're so well, 4 of them do. I mean, obviously the 2 girls here who see it day in and day out, Jordan and Natalia, they know that daddy is Batman. So when we go to events, they make sure they don't call me dad, when they come up to me and talk to me, and they call me Batman and things like that to try to keep the mystique and everything. But
you got to protect the business, brother. That's what you got to do.
So, yeah, but like I said, yeah, we definitely want to be where we are today without their support. There's no doubt about that.
That's awesome. All right. So what does, and this is a question that I personally wanted to ask, what does career day look like for Sioux Falls Batman?
Yeah, I haven't had one of those yet, but
okay.
I have traveled to my daughter's schools before as Batman to pick her up on like Halloween Day or different events. I'll just go in if I have like a day off and just go in and show our kids that, oh my gosh, that's Jordan's dad is Batman. And living out there in Harrisburg, all the kids drove by our house to go to her old school at Freedom Elementary. And so everybody knew where Batman lived. Everybody knew the Batcave. And speaking because Halloween's coming up, our house at Halloween time is just crazy. And so many people come because they want to get candy from the Batman and take a picture with Batman and the Batmobile. And it's just been awesome. The support from the community and the love and everything that they've shown us. And so, like I said, we're so thankful.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Well, and are you the family that's handing out the full-size candy bars with you having that kind of traffic, or are you just out there hanging out with everybody? Oh.
No, we're not at the full-size candy bars yet. If I had that Bruce Wayne money, I definitely would. But we know that we end up going to make the candy, but yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun to see everybody, especially the kids who come dressed as like Batman, or Robin, and or little girls, Wonder Woman or Harley Quinn and things like that. It's really fun to see that. You really try to get into character at that point. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. And I do want to ask you, because you mentioned that you have a Robin now, and where did this come about? I think you and I have talked personally that you were looking for somebody to play Robin, but how long has this been going on? That now that you've got your award, if you will.
Sure. It's still pretty recent. So Kyle, he's from Idaho. He's out here going to school for nursing and everything like that. And the cool thing about Kyle was Kyle got diagnosed actually with leukemia at like age 3 or 4, and he didn't beat it until like age 6 or 7. So he really has that insight look of what these families and these children are going through and everything else, and it means so much to him. So he reached out to us off our Facebook page about a year or so ago, and with his hectic schedule with nursing and things like that, and building his costume and getting him ready to rock and roll, so myself and Captain America, Paul built his Captain America suits. We've got a lot of experience with that and everything else. So we finally kind of got him out for a show here this past 2 weeks ago when they did the children's awareness for the sex trafficking event here. Maybe it was last weekend is when it was, but so we got him out here. So it's kind of nice, my number one question everywhere I go is, where's Robin? Where is he? So it surprises me because, since really, the Michael Keaton series and rolling through, they had the 2 movies with Chris O'Donnell as Robin, but since the Batman Begins, the Dark Knight Returns and all that, there hasn't been a Robin. So it amazes me of how many people ask for Robin, especially like young children. Like that wasn't even anywhere near era,
Right.
So but yeah, so now hopefully I can put the stuff to bed and I'll have a Robin from here going forward. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Are you
Yeah, he's a
gonna
good dude.
are you gonna be adding more to the Bat family as time goes on? Will we have our Carrie Kellys? Will we have our Jason Todds and different things like that that'll be joining the Bat family in the future potentially?
Um, well, I like to say like wrestling, never say never, but you know, I guess we're not actively hunting. You know, as much fun as we have, you know, it's really difficult when you go in the hospital. You don't want to have a trail of people coming in, you know, to
Okay.
the families and things like that. So, it's really difficult. You know, for the outside events, you know, it's kind of cool to have stuff like that, but you know, I guess I'm not actively looking, but would I say no? Probably not. You know, if the person's right and the part's right and they're willing to commit to our schedule and be there, you know, I would definitely be, you know, open-minded to that.
Maybe we could talk Ashton into being full Alfred for you at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, again, guys, we are live here with Sioux Falls Batman, Terry himself. We're getting behind the mask, behind the cape and cowl here. If you have questions, make sure to roll them into the chat or send us a question here for you. It looks like we had another one roll in here for you. And this is somebody who is going to remain anonymous here, but it says, what is one of the most memorable events you have been asked to attend?
Well, there's been a lot. Um, hmm.
Besides SuperCon.
Well, besides SuperCon, yeah.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Well, you've got an event coming up tomorrow in Huron. That's why we had to do it today. So, I mean, you're no stranger to charity events, but is there anything about those charity events that maybe that maybe stands out to you, something that you really dig into, or you can kind of set your teeth into?
sure. You know, I think, you know, a lot of our favorite events of the year really is like the radiothon and
Okay.
different events like that, where, you know, you have those survivors that come into the hospital and get to tell their story and things like that. You know, that's really always a special time for us because you get to meet real life kids who have, you know, won their battle against cancer. You get to know these you know, brave young, you know, children and their families, and you know, really make those lifelong connections with them, just like our members of Team Batman. You know, honestly, the thing that always sticks out to me the most, obviously, is you know, the relationship that we have with these families and everything else. But you know, the one that gets me right now is you know, we lost a young man last year by the name of Joseph Cords, and you know, 3 years into this deal, we've been so fortunate to pretty much all the children we've gotten to meet, all the children that we've gotten to go and visit, whether into the hospital, out of the hospital, and everything else, you know, has been given clean bills of health. You know, we've been so lucky and everything else, and so, you know, the most memorable one that really got me, like I said, here was Joseph Cords, and we only knew Joseph for about 6-7 weeks, and he was a young man that he got diagnosed with brain cancer and spinal cancer and all that stuff the first time, and he beat it. And I mean, literally, I don't even think it was 3 months later, it came back stronger, more powerful, more, you know, susceptible, and really took over his organs and everything else. And so Baltic Elementary School put on a prom for him, you know, that tried to give him his life events, you know, before he passed on. And we got the honor and privilege of meeting him and his family. And and like I said, 6 weeks later, you know, he was taken, and taken from us and taken from his family and his friends and everything else. And so that's one thing I've really tried to do here, is with his mom and with his dad, of, you know, really get more involved with things, keep his honor alive and his memory alive, and everything else, and really, you know, help these families and reach out to more families and stuff like that. So to me, that's kind of been our most memorable thing, is with his loss, but it comes a lot of gains of a lot of more awareness and things like that, of helping families and stuff. So miss that guy every day, man. It just
Right.
He was such a good kid and such an amazing kid, and yeah, I'll never ever forget the memory of Joseph Cords.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. It's the tough part of the job. on that.
Yeah.
It is. You know, and on that note here, I mean, we are raising money for the JY6 Foundation. And for Reach Literacy here. So if you do go back after this, make sure if you are generous enough to donate, make sure, I want you to know that the JY6 Foundation does sponsor leukemia and pediatric cancer awareness, and sponsors a lot of research and that kind of thing, so that, you know, these hard times don't have to continue. That's the end goal for all of that. And for your donation, we will be sending you a print that is specialized for SiouxperConline.com if your donation is $10 or more. And we'll have more information about JY6 a little bit later here today as well. And in addition to that, here for us, I'm just going to drop the sponsor here for you. SiouxperConline is sponsored by Black Hills Federal Credit Union, by TN Tax, Last Stop, Game Chest, and Firefox Digital Media. Is that correct? Did I say that right? No. She's sitting right here with me, and I'm so sorry. Firelink Digital Media, and she hates compliments too, but she did a great job on this, and we're going to say that live. I should turn the camera around because she's about as red as a tomato right now. So, but we are here with Sioux Falls Batman, getting to know the man behind the cowl. If you do have a question, make sure to drop it in the chat feature, or there is a question section here as well. You know, Terry, I want to talk to you a little bit about you mentioned the Michael Keaton Batman, but your Batmobile has a lot of inspiration from Adam West. Tell me about your love for the Adam West and Burt Ward Batman, because I love that stuff too. Like, you know me, and you know that I'm also a big Batman nut. So tell me about what it was that drew you to the Adam West Batman.
Oh, you know, just being a kid, and really back then, that was really all the superheroes that were really out and about. You know, I think what was one of the reasons, but just yeah, their Batmobile, the Bat computer, the Bat cave, and the characters. You know, just his suit, Adam West Robin, you know, Adam West Robin suit. It was so amazing. You know, and just as a kid, you look at these guys like, oh, this is somebody fighting crime, and look at all the cool gizmos and gadgets, you know, and look at all the things that he pulled out of that magical bat belt, you know, the utility belt, and
shark repellent, yeah.
And so, you know, as a kid, it's like, oh, look at all the cool toys and gadgets, and he had I think the thing that got me is just, you know, his ability to adapt to every situation, and he had something for everybody, you know, whether it's the Joker, the Riddler, Catwoman, the Penguin, you know, he had it all, and he was prepped and he was ready, and never lost his cool, and just, yeah, it was so well put together and so well written, you know, and so I look forward to, you know, Batman and Robin in the afternoons when I got home from school, and I'll say then He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, you know,
yes.
And so yeah,
yes.
so it was just, yes, I was a Batman fan. I mean, it was hook, line, and sinker. They got me, you know, and what an amazing series. And I have the series, you know, I have every Batman movie ever made, you know, and so yeah, I try to show my kids, but I think it's a little too cheesy for them now, you know. But I try to make them sit down and watch it. But they know I mean, they've watched the Michael Keaton Batmans with me, you know. They've watched the Dark Knight Entertainment or Dark Knight ones, the Batman Begins, stuff like that. So I try to get them as much as I can. But they're Harley Quinn fans, believe it or not. So yeah, my daughter's like Harley Quinn. So
I was gonna say, how old are they again?
Jordan is 9 and Natalia is 5. But,
yeah, that's about the age where younger girls are starting to get into that here for us. So
yep.
There's been kind of a resurgence of all the rewriting with Margot Robbie and everything like that.
Yep.
A little edgier, I get it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. And so we talked a little bit about the Batmobile. I always have to ask, besides your Batmobile, besides the Batmobile that Sioux Falls Batman drives, what is your favorite Batmobile and why?
I like the 89 Keaton Batmobile. I like the fire coming out of the back. I like the slide down roof. Because it was just, I think because it was my first Batmobile introduced to me again, you know, on the big screen or whatever, but I just, I love that Batmobile, how it all, you know, shields, the whole shield around it, and it just did so many cool things. The automatic drive, and just how they portrayed that, just how well that Batmobile is put together, the cool things. We're going from the Batmobile to the Bat Bullet and all the different cool and unique things that it did. So, yeah, that's my favorite Batmobile, is the Keaton.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Were there any, besides Keaton's Batmobile, were there any others that you really loved since then, or has it always been the Keaton Batmobile for you?
No, my all-time favorite one, I think, would be the Adam Westberg Ward one. I've gotten to see that one live and in person, get pictures with it. I've seen the Keaton one at Universal Studios and stuff like that. It's not like the full rendition, but just something like that. But obviously, I like the first Batmobile with the bat phone and the siren and all that cool stuff. And obviously with the batteries to power, turbine to speed.
I remember I got in the Batmobile with you. You made me say it. So
yeah. Everyone who gets in there, I normally say that. Like, what's the magical words? It's like, please. That's what I'm looking for. So, but Kyle knows that. It was funny when we went to the event, that children's event. He came to the house. As soon as he sat down, I looked at him. I said, "I need the words. What you need? Atomic, batteries to power, atomic to speed." I knew you're a good guy. Freaking fired her up, and we went. So yeah, he knew. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's amazing. We had a question roll in here for you. So this is a question from Ellie. Ellie Malikin. I may have butchered her last name here, but it looks like we actually have a cosplay question here for you. It says, any advice when kids approach you in cosplay for those who don't usually work with children?
The thing I like to do most is I try to get down on their level. If it's kind of a smaller, younger child, I'll take a knee. I'll kind of like flap the cape out. I'll take a knee so I kind of get down to their level, so I'm not as intimidating when they're looking up. And the cowl and stuff is already intimidating and stuff enough as it is. When we used to do birthday parties, it was a 50-50 shot, man, walking up into that house of, is that kid going to love me, or is that kid going to be scared to death of me and not let go of mom or dad? And so that's what I do. I kind of base up how old they are, their principal, and kind of think of how their mentality is of, those kids who get to be 8, 9, 10, they know, you're a cosplayer, you know what I mean? So I still address it as such. I try to stay on kind of their level, but like I said, those kids that are 6, 5, 4, 3, stuff like that, like I said, I usually like to take a knee to get down on their level. I don't do the Batman voice with them because it's kind of scary and intimidating. I try to just use my regular voice and be as calm and soothing. And having children of my own, I kind of know how to address them with the experience of dealing with my kids and kids that age and everything like that. So you kind of put the sweetness in your voice and try not to scare them, and hey, reassure them I'm a good guy, I'm a nice guy, I'm a superhero, and all that stuff. So that would be my advice, that I give other people of, take a perspective of how old they are, how they react to you. You can tell by their body language. They're either all about you, or if they're hesitant and reserved and maybe a little bit scared and timid. So you just gotta kind of play that and make your judgment call from there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that's got to be a challenging part too, because I know that even when we do physical conventions, and it's not just with you, but anybody who comes in their cosplay, there may be a child who this is their first experience with cosplay. So that's, what does a child want to do? Like, ooh, I want to touch everything. I want to make sure everything. And these are things that people work very hard on here for that too. Is there a way that you go about kind of teaching children how to respect those types of boundaries?
We don't normally have too many issues, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Some little kids, if they're really, adamant, they're really excited, and you can tell they're happy and everything else. And sometimes I'll pick kids up, and I'll let them like, hey, and I'll kind of tap my cowl, like, you want to touch my cowl, so you kind of give them that preset of, you can touch it, don't slap it or hit it, or don't try to pull it off, but just, hey, yeah, it's kind of cool, isn't it? You want to touch it, you want to feel it, they feel it, and they look at you and everything else. And but otherwise, I really don't have, kids never walk up and like just straight punch me in the gut or anything like that, or anything. But most of the time, they, like I said, a lot of times the kids are they're so excited and taken back. They'll run up and hug you, and that's really about it. They'll just kind of hug you and they'll back up and everything else. But really over our years, I haven't really had, issues with that.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. So.
Gotcha. And just a quick comment from a gentleman named John. He just wanted to say thank you for being a part of SiouxperConline. And that's something that obviously goes from a lot of us, not just myself at SiouxperCon, but you've been a very big staple for SiouxperCon. We always like bringing in the Batmobile. My favorite part is that I get to ride in the Batmobile when we park it in the vendor room. So I get to look like I'm the coolest guy in the room as we're driving around with Batman. And I miss that immensely this year. But let's talk a little bit about the transition for 2020. What does for Sioux Falls Batman and everything in the social distancing and everything like that? I know that you've been able to just drive through neighborhoods and different things like that as well. But what does that look like for you, and what are you trying to do to adapt to everything that's going on in 2020?
No, absolutely. That's really kind of all we've gotten to really do. We've done some drive-bys and waves. We've done some birthday party parades. The same thing. You just kind of keep your distance, and you just kind of stay out there in the parade route and wave, and they'll come over and they'll take a picture next to the Batmobile. It's kind of, hey, just kind of stay on this side of the Batmobile with social distance. Or if they want us to get out, I'll stand kind of like in the front of the Batmobile. I'll have them kind of stand towards the back of the back tire there, towards the Batmobile and everything else. If we need to mask up for whatever reason, if I know I'm going in a venue, I have bought a black mask now, so I actually look like Batman Beyond, and when I wear that mask, and this looks pretty cool actually. But
that's awesome.
We're trying to do everything we can. We want to make sure that we talk thoroughly, to the families or to the host event of what would you like us to do. We don't want to step over any boundaries. We want to know what your policy is for face masks, social distancing, things like that. Some people. Some people are on the right side of the spectrum, some people are on the left side of the spectrum. We want to make sure that we honor both, so we have very in-depth talks, back and forth via text messaging or whatever. That's, hey, what would you like us to do? We're totally open to whatever you need us to do. So, but kind of like we talked about in the pre-show, we haven't been as busy this year. We've done a few more things that we normally don't do. Like I said, I don't normally do birthday parties anymore. I haven't done that for a number of years, but with the social distancing thing and with the parades, I was like, why not? It's safe and bring a little more joy. So we've done that. We did a couple weekends where just out of our own, I was like, hey, you know what? We're deep into the COVID season. People are getting cabin fever. Parents are getting just as frustrated being at home as the kids are.
Right.
So let's do like a meet and greet event, but it'll be the same way. We'll do the same thing of like a birthday party parade. We'll pull up the side of the house. We'll take a wave, have the kids in the driveway. If they want to come down and take a picture with us, they can on the passenger side to maintain that social distance. We did that for like, I think 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And I mean, I think we visited about 300 families or so over the course of those 3 weeks that we drove around. So we tried to draw a map of Sioux Falls, and we tried to lay it down to each person, and like when they send in their address. So like, hey, weekend 1, we're going to hit the northwest part of Sioux Falls. Weekend 2, we're going to go to the northeast, and then we're going to do the southeast and east side of Sioux Falls and the southwest and southwest, side of Sioux Falls. And so we did that. We didn't have to, but we did. And, just one of the many things, just trying to think outside the box here of, how can we help the community in their time right now and frustration? Because we knew working from home, kids being homeschooled and everything else, we all get that cabin fever. We're not meant to be locked up together, I think, 24/7. But so that's what the kind of things that we've been doing. Some drive-bys, some meet and greets, like I said, birthday party parades and different things like that. So.
That's awesome. And again, we're here with Sioux Falls Batman, getting to know the man behind the mask, Terry himself, from Sioux Falls Batman. If you have a question, make sure to drop it into the chat, or there is a Q&A feature right there, and I'll make sure that I bring this up to Terry. If there's anything that you would like asked, make sure to do this. And just to drop it again here for us, we are being sponsored by by Black Hills Federal Credit Union. And then we are also being sponsored by TN Tax. We could not have done that without them. So make sure to see Black Hills Federal Credit Union, TN Tax, Last Stop Game Chest, and Firelink Digital. I got it right that time. She's red again, but she did a great job. Michelle, you did an amazing job. She hates compliments. and this is going to be a running theme for the weekends, is me talking to them. But Terry, you know, I want to. I don't know if you have the ability, but I do want to see some of the Bat Cave here. You know, everybody loves sharing their nerd memorabilia. We got to see, you know, the inside of the Bat Cave here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. So behind me here, I've got a couple of signs when you come into my garage here. So I got the Batcave sign, I got the flag, I got the Batmobile from the original Keaton. Like, of course, I got Batfleck in the corner here. Trying to see if I can maybe be better that way if I go that way. So, but so up top, I got Batman and Joker up there on top of the cabinets. I got the bat symbol there with the Batman versus Superman. We got the Batman poster and a Harley Quinn poster. We'll come back here to the right. It's kind of where everything is here. So I got all the main fun stuff we got going on here. Lego Batman, a couple boards, like I said, my Michael Keaton posters, some more there, Batman, and of course you're gonna see the best one right there. Boom!
Boom!
Right there. Super fun. Love you guys, man. So I got it right in the heart of the center of everything. So my flag, got some bang bang boom, Justice League posters, more long live the bats. I got my Vern personal poster that they made for me. 2 decades military service, father of 4, becomes a superhero to cheer up sick children, and Terry Mackey will take care of you as well. And just more fun memorabilia stuff that we picked up at benefits and auctions, and more stuff that my the wife and kids have gotten me. Found this at an antique shop here. It's a cool Dark Knight deal there. That was pretty cool. And then, of course, you can see her. There's the
Batmobile.
There it is.
There it is.
In all her glory.
The granddaddy of them all.
That's right. So, yeah, just trying to. Where is my? Hit that again. Okay. Let me turn the camera around so there we can see her a little bit better. So yeah. So.
That's still to this day my favorite Batman symbol is the red logo from the Adam West stuff. That's still like just gives me chills every time I see it.
Yeah, so cool. So we can talk about. So we put the red accents on here on our mirrors this year, and then like I said, so on the belt cover right here, that was black, so we changed that to red to really, like I said, accent and highlight. And unfortunately, I can't get you to see the grill guard, but it's that fire engine red like that, so it really helps pop that thing. But that's what I should have done in the beginning rather than my back behind me. So, but so yeah, it's like I said, one of the perks of buying a new house, I said I got to have a 3-car garage because I want my Batmobile to have its own stall and place to sit. So yeah,
that's amazing. That's awesome.
So yeah, so that is my Batcave from now on.
That's awesome. Well, we did have a question come in here for you, Terry, from Ken Santama of the South Dakota Ghostbusters and one of our sponsors, TN Tax. Ken would like to ask, he says, what do you think of the future of charity cosplay will be? I think that, I'm sorry, I'm slurring my words here. What do you think the future of charity cosplay will be like for visiting kids at hospitals, or is that even likely? Will that likely be a thing after COVID is under control? So, what do you think is going to be the future, or what are you hoping for the future of charity cosplay events?
That's a good question, and I don't think I'll be able to answer that. That's better. That might be more suited for the hospitals and stuff like that, I think, to answer, because who knows? Hopefully, with further research and like anything with diseases and treatments, and the more we get into this COVID and the research, what we can and can't do and allowed to do and can't do. As cosplayers, I think for all of us with charity, I think we'll just all have to play it by ear and see what they allow us to do. I think no matter what, I think going into hospitals, I think we'll definitely be asked to definitely mask up. So I think that'll be a thing for sure for a while. I think that will continue to be, a safe and smart trend to definitely want to do for, both obviously the cosplay protection and for the family and the children. And, but we eagerly await, the word to be able to get back in the hospitals, because I mean that's primary, our primary focus and goal and everything else. But who knows, with this COVID thing, and like I said, I think a couple months down the road, I personally don't think it'll be until next year till we'll be able to safely be allowed to be back into the hospitals and things like that. And even then, like I said, I think that us as cosplayers, we're going to be very adaptable and very flexible for a while to what their rules and safeguard regulations are going to be. So.
Right. And we've already talked about, some of the transitions that you've had to make as not just a cosplayer, but as Sioux Falls Batman. There's a lot of different things that are kind of up in the air. So you're doing what you can while you can. And that's an amazing thing, Terry. It really is here. Again, we're getting to know Terry, the man behind the cape and the cowl here in Sioux Falls Batman. I was just going to comment. It looked like you were placed with the bat ears almost perfectly right above your head there. That's awesome. There you go. Well, Terry, let's transition a little bit, because I think I also want to get to know you a little bit. But obviously, we're not one-dimensional human beings. What else is it that when you're not being Sioux Falls Batman, when you're not being a family man, what other types of things does Terry enjoy?
I enjoy. We go out bowling. I love to bowl. Bowling is my thing. I like to karaoke. I'm a singer, so yeah, I love a good karaoke bar. Generally, you can find us if we do go out for a date night or get out with friends. You'll generally find us at Billy Frog's for karaoke.
Okay.
I like to fish. I'm a pretty good fisherman. Me and my mom do a lot of fishing. When we go back home or she comes to visit, we try to find a nice watering hole to find some fish. Otherwise, I just, like I said, trying to play family man and trying to spend as much time with the kiddos and the wife as we can, and I'm just like everybody else, put one pant leg on, like everyone else at a time. Right. And I'm not too exciting,
Just a normal guy.
Most times you'll find us at home, or like I said, if I try to travel to my daughter's hockey games when she's around the area. I'd love to go and watch my daughter play hockey. She's been playing for quite a while, so really proud of her with that. Kids will come down from Aberdeen, and take them to the mall or take them out to eat or hang out, and hotel or pool or swim. So I'm just kind of like everybody else, So that's kind of what I try to do on my downtime when I don't have a Batman event going on. It's kind of like to hang out and just be a family.
That's awesome. Well, we had a couple of things roll in here for you. First, and somebody anonymously said, thank you for both your military service and for providing this service to our community. So maybe let's actually touch on this, because I don't think that we really talked about it, but you were a member of the military, retired military, and, obviously thank you for your service and everything you've done. That's, I know I've said that to you before, but
Thank you.
It goes on and on and on. But how long were you in the military?
So I went to basic training September 19th of 1994. I went to the Marine Corps. I went to San Diego for basic training. After basic training, I went to School of Infantry, and I was an infantry guy. I spent my first 4 years in the Marine Corps at Camp Pendleton, California, as an infantry bubba, and I was a machine gunner, shot big, heavy machine guns. And my second duty station was still at Camp Pendleton. I became a rifle marksmanship instructor. Did I tell you that story? That's how I met Randy Orton for the very first time?
Yeah, you did. When we were watching, that was actually when we got to watch WrestleMania together. You said that you and Randy Orton were in the same vicinity. Because weren't you delivering pizza at the time to the military base, and you met him or delivered to his house?
That's the second time I met him. Yeah, that's the second time.
Okay.
Yep. So I was on when the kids come through to rifle fall or whatever. Yeah, I was on the rifle range there, and we were on Charlie range, was our range, and his platoon with his company came down on that range, and that was the first time I had met Randy Orton, and as we were all big, WWE fans back then, WWF and WCW Nitro and the heart of the the Monday Night Wars, and so we were all NWO for life, and we were all and all that fun stuff, and just so happened he'd come in, and qualified on the range, so that was the first time I got to meet him, so that was cool talking to him the whole week, and then the second time, I was actually delivering pizzas for Domino's on base at night, and he ordered a pizza, and I came to his room, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, aren't you Sergeant Mackey?" I was like, "Yeah, you're Randy Orton." And I was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, I'm actually getting kicked out." I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you why. That's none of my business, but that's not for anybody to know." But yeah, he was during his transition on separation out of the Marine Corps, and he was talking about he was going to go to the WCW power plant and all that stuff and start getting his deal going, which obviously we know he ended up in OVW and all that stuff. But so yeah, so that's how I met Randall Keith Orton the first time and second time. But so yeah, so I did that for 2.5 years, and then I got my orders for recruiting duty. And I came out on recruiting duty. I started recruiting duty exactly 1 year before September 11th, and I started September 2000. I was in Minneapolis at the time of September 11th when that kicked off as a recruiter. When that tragic event happened, and then I pretty much spent the rest of my time on recruiting until 2012, and that's when I got kind of put back in the reserve force. So I finished my time actually out from 2012 to 2016 at the reserve unit out here in Sioux Falls, the 2nd and 361st. They're up north there on the airport road, kind of down from the Autoplex and all that stuff. But so yeah, so I got retired in December of 2016, and kind of put that chapter to bed, I guess, and started this new chapter as Batman, and you know, our new life as just Terry. I'm not Sergeant First Class Mackey anymore, and it was a lot of good years. I got to do a lot of cool things, got to meet a lot of cool stars, a lot of great things we were able to do, amazing things. Travel the world, you know, twice over, and because I'm a South Dakota native, and people don't know I'm born and bred. I'm South Dakota. I grew up out by Pierre, small little farming town called Blunt, South Dakota. It's about 400 people. Literally only 2 blocks of paved road on Main Street. Everything else was gravel to me. So
no, I grew up in Summit, South Dakota. You're preaching to the choir, man. I get it.
You know, it's like all most farm kids. You know, you grow up driving farms and tractors, and first thing you ever drove was clutch. And so you know, I just you know, never really got anywhere. You know, my mom was kind of a single mom most of her life, and I had us 3 kids, and so there wasn't a lot of money, there wasn't a lot to do, and coolest thing I ever did was my senior class trip to Minneapolis. You know, so I wanted a chance to. I knew there was a bigger world out there and a better world, and I was like, what better way than to join the military and do that? And so that's why I decided the route that I wanted to go, and I'm so glad that I did, and yeah, it's been amazing.
That's awesome. And it looks like we had a latecomer. I know we touched about this a little bit at the beginning of the interview, but Danica Dunlap, I just wanted to know just kind of how did you we can even touch on this briefly just again here for you, but she just wanted to know how you became Sioux Falls Batman again.
Yep, we just bought a suit, and we were able to you know, get a foot in the door with the Children's Miracle Network. Like we talked about earlier a little bit, I was at Bernardi at the time, and I you know, had the amazing ladies with Erin and Bethany and Crystal and all them were able, you know, really gave me my first start and got my foot in the door with them through Sanford with the Children's Miracle Network, and the rest they say is history. So,
there we go. And I definitely want everybody to go back. We'll be posting this later. We are recording this now, so we got the live questions and everything like that going on. But if you missed some of those questions and they were asked later, we definitely want you to go back and watch the beginning of this interview and see the tour of the Sioux Falls Batman Batcave, of course, which was awesome. Well, Terry, you know, you have been such a staple here for Sioux Falls and for SiouxperCon. You know, I think it's really easy for us to delve into the negative of, you know, we're stuck inside, we're sick of each other, blah, blah, you know, everything like that. But what do you think of, with everything that's been going on, what do you think has been the most positive outcome of your 2020 for you personally?
Boy, I don't, you know, that's a good question. The fact, you know, as much as, yeah, it's been frustrating this year, you know, this has definitely been an off year for everybody, you know, this has been a learning year for everybody, but just still the amazing, you know, outcry and, you know, love and support, you know, back when we were thinking about moving and leaving and everything else, and, you know, B1027 did that article on us of, you know, Sioux Falls Batman hanging up cape and cowl, and it's like, no.
Yeah.
we were hanging up cape and cowl, you know, but, you know, that was the one thing that really, you know, that really showed me a lot of, you know, that, again, sometimes a lot of this is thankless. You know, you don't hear a lot of the thank yous and everything like that and stuff. And I think when we made the decision to move, and we decided that we were going to leave, you know, the Sioux Falls area and all the amazing things that we got to do behind here, you know, with the families and everything like that. And B1027 ran that article. You know, we had such an amazing, you know, support and outcry. So many people messaged us on the page of, you know, how much that, you know, they appreciated us, what we did, and how much that they loved us, and how much it was so amazing of, you know, that all the things that we have done for Sioux Falls and the community, you know, SiouxperCon and all the different things and everything like that. And, you know, please don't go, you know, like in wrestling, when, you know, wrestlers leaving the company, please don't go, you know.
Fight forever.
Yeah. You know? And so that's what it was for us. You know, we had so many people reach out to us, and it was just so powerful and so, you know, amazing, and really emotional, and with the families too, you know.
Right.
We told the families that we were staying, and we got everyone together and everything else. I mean, we had a good cry fest and, you know, all those things. And it was just, for me, that's been the highlight of my year. And unfortunately, you know, I mean, like I said, it was unfortunate at the time it seemed, but actually it's been a blessing in disguise of us staying and continuing our services here in Sioux Falls. And so, you know, that to me, it means just the world to me, you know, of how much support there is out there for us, how many people back us. And, you know, I don't get to say thanks to everybody, and I don't know everybody. And, you know, you're doing something right when complete strangers that you don't even know, you've never even met, never even crossed their path, when they message you and tell you thank you for all the things that you've done. Thank you for being amazing. Thanks for who you are and what you do. So that was probably the best part of the whole overall chaos of transition, not transitioning, staying, you know, and everything else.
In the midst of this chaotic year. Yep. Yep. Well, you know, we're going to wrap this up here with you here. We've only got a couple of minutes, but what are your last thoughts to the SiouxperConline audience that's watching and everybody who's going to watch you later as well?
Thanks for amazing 4 years. You know, thanks for always coming out and supporting us. You know, continue to support the great things like SiouxperCon, like what, you know, the JY6 program, you know, all the different local charities. You know, thanks for everyone who calls in for the radiothons and donates their hard-earned money, you know, to support children's cancer research. Because like I said, hopefully one day we'll never have to worry about that ever again. You know, thank you for the fight. Thank you for the support. Thanks for all the backing and everything you do. You know, just be as active as you can, you know, come out and help these great support, you know, charities, organizations, different events like that. Thank you for continuing backing us and supporting us. Like I tell everybody, I'm very approachable. If you ever see me, I love to drive around town, as most people see me. I like to stop at gas stations throughout town. If you see me, please stop by and say hi. Please come take a photo with me. You know, I'll sign an autograph. We'll take a fun photo, a goofy photo, a serious photo. I don't care. You know, I'm very approachable. You know, if you ever see us out and about, please say hello. You know, if you know what we do and the work that we do and everything else, please stop and say hello. You know, you know, you can never say that enough. You know, we're here for you. We're here for everything. If you know anybody who needs our help, please contact us. You know, if you know anybody that think could benefit from us and the things that we do, please contact us. You can reach us on Facebook. We have changed our name. We used to be under Dark Knight Entertainment Premises. Now we actually go by Heroes Helping Little Heroes. So if you Facebook us in the search bar, just type in Heroes Helping Little Heroes. It'll bring us right to our support page. Our phone numbers are on there. Our email's on there. You can contact us. We're at Sioux Falls Batman at yahoo.com. You can email us. Like I said, our phone numbers are on the deal. I'm not going to give those out right now, but you can see those on the website and all that. So yeah, please, anything we can do to ever help anybody that you know, friend, family, whatever, please don't hesitate to ask. We'd love to be there.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being a part of SiouxperConline, Terry. You know, obviously we're going to continue this, so we hope to actually get to hug you, man, here in about a year. So yeah, man. But thank you for joining us, everybody. We will have another live panel coming up in a couple of hours, but thank you for joining us as well, and we will see you soon.